So, okay, what is Chobo2Gosu? For all those guys who previously didn't know what this was, it's pretty much like a tutorial live help show where pretty much I'll go live every week and I will just, like, I'll have a discussion. It's normally a certain type of matchup, like PvZ or CVP or whatever it could be, and I will discuss it. I will look at types of builds you could do, common knowledge and information bits that you will need in terms of, like, compositions, how to counter a unit composition, the type of build order that you should kind of be following, all that type of general stuff that goes into, of course, a standard game of Starcraft. For those who were wondering, Chobo2Gosu is it's pretty much my show. I'm a part of Definitive Esports or d-esports, which a lot of people should kind of know. Like we've been going to a lot of recent events and getting interviews and stuff like that. A lot of people should know this is James Banks from Definitive Esports, as apparently he gets told all the time, which is really interesting. Um, and of course, we are sponsored by a few companies. This show is pretty much our title sponsor at BenQ is BenQ's Chobo2Gosu with me, Pee-wee. So even though Definitive Esports have other sponsors, they won't really be referenced as much on this because this is BenQ's Chobo2Gosu. And gotta give a big shout out to BenQ. They've given us money and a budget and a lot of products to give away for the show, which is really exciting. And like I'm really pumped to be doing this, and we should hopefully be doing it for quite a long time as well. We have an indefinite schedule that is just going to keep running and running, and will hopefully improve as we go. I always keep talking into the center, so I'm just going to try and move my webcam. Hopefully that's not so bad. Let me just double check. A little white, but that's cool. Standard. We're all happy with that. So, what to expect? Like what's going to happen with the show? So initially we're going to do a show every Thursday at this time, 9 o'clock. Is it GMT or it's 9 BST? We'll be doing it every week. Pretty much this week's episode is the introduction, of course. Like I'm not going to jump it straight in and give, PVT analysis a go. I'm just going to try and give people the gist of what to expect and what we'll be doing and the prizes and future schedule. So pretty much use a little like I can't think of the correct word. Use like our schedule. It's going to be 12 weeks. We have our first quarter planned out. This week is the introduction, and then the next 3 weeks will be Protoss. And because I had to cut one episode off the 12 weeks to do the introduction, Protoss have taken the cut there, sadly. And yeah, so we're going to be doing that. Then it's going to be 4 weeks of Zerg and then 4 weeks of Terran. And then from that, we'll move on to Season 2, which will definitely get more in-depth. Whereas the first 12 weeks is more learning StarCraft, getting into StarCraft, and an introduction to StarCraft. So a lot of you may be wondering, who am I exactly? Like, I'm not a big name. I'm not a professional playing in tournaments. I'm not IEM playing right now or anything like that. I'm a bit of an unknown player. I have been playing since beta, so like I've been playing a non-stop StarCraft 2 for the last 2 and a bit years. Um, Most people aren't really going to know me unless they spend a lot of time on Reddit or like the subreddits, which are like all things Protoss, or my casting, for example, or my YouTube channel. Like I do a bit of bits and bobs around the scene. So yeah, I'm a High Masters Protoss from the United Kingdom. I'm actually from Wales, yeah. And I've played since release. I played in Beta Phase 2, which was like 2 weeks before release, and then I've been playing non-stop since release. I'm not Grandmaster level. I'm fairly close. I beat them on ladder every now and then, and the most known player that I've actually played is Axlav, which a lot of people should know. He's really, he's kind of like similar to well, I'm similar to him. I wouldn't say he's similar to me because he's more known, but he does a lot through the scene. He's on Chanman's Pro Corner. He does a lot of interviews, a lot of analysis. He does coaching, and he's just a well-known player for analysis and stuff like that. He was even at the last MLG doing like that big touchscreen TV, which was pretty epic. And yeah, like I've taken a game off him as well, which was I'd say my best moment so far in StarCraft. I sometimes off race with my Terran and my Zerg, but not a massive amount. Like I'm a Protoss. I want to keep my Protoss as high as I can, and I want to progress even better with Protoss. So I don't really play too much of the other races, even though I'm about platinum into diamond level, I would say. Um, and then outside of StarCraft 2, I do a lot of things through the scene. Like I was just saying, like I spend a lot of time on on the subreddits. Like there's one I mainly hang out on, which is All Things Protoss, and some people will know these subreddits. There's All Things Protoss, All Things Zerg, All Things Terran, and it's pretty much how it sounds. It's all things related to that. And like I just go there and make videos and make tutorials. I do replay analysis. Like people can send me replays and I will analyze them, what they done wrong, stuff like that. And then I do some casting as well for Definitive Esports. I've recently done the Antec Attack, which was absolutely fantastic. I tell you what, watching replays of high-end players will definitely improve your play. If you're around, say, Masters, Diamond Masters players, it makes such a difference. And recently, like, I really believe that I've hit my highest point in skill level. Like, I've been really smashing it up on ladder, and like yesterday, I played so many Zergs. It was crazy. And yeah, and I will show you other things I've also done through the scene, like some other videos that will make appearances throughout the show. I'm also a barcraft organizer within where I live, which is Swansea, and I do other things like I used to be the CSL admin. I do some other casting for like the WCS UK. I've done that. I do the UK Opens and bits and bobs like that. Okay, so yeah, how it's gonna work now, this show is pretty much. So like I said, we're gonna go over every matchup, and it's pretty much we're gonna cover like beating the AI, which is it's pretty much the biggest thing here. Like my idea is if you're say between bronze and gold, you're not gonna be very good at the game. Not not to be blunt, but that's just that's why you're in those leagues. And I've noticed a lot of people between bronze and gold actually don't really play against the AI or haven't played them all together. They normally just like jump into the ladder and kind of get smashed up. And like a lot of people will admit to doing that. And in my opinion, that is a really bad way to get into the game because there's so much going on. And if you're playing people who like they're kind of lower ranked, like if you play a bronze and you're bronze, or you just get in the game and you play a bronze, like you're not really playing against someone who kind of knows what they're doing. So it's kind of like just hish hash and everything's kind of mashed together to form some type of game where someone wins. And that, in my opinion, is really bad because it's not setting like a solid foundation of you should do this. Like if you don't do this by X amount of time, like in a normal game you die. In bronze it's just like yeah, like cool, you're building zealots, yeah, that's whatever, like and if you see banshees, people just continue building zealots. It's a bit mind-boggling. Um, so I'm gonna for the first 12 episodes, I'm going to be kind of covering the AI because, like, this is the introduction to StarCraft, so we have to obviously start at the basics, which is, in my opinion, playing the AI. And I have even more reasoning as to why you should play the AI, or why the AI is really damn good for breaking people into this game. Alright, and I do have some other information to give out, but someone talking about the AI is a little boring. Like, fair enough if you're diamond or platinum, you're gonna be able to smash it fairly easy. But you should try and set yourself challenges, right? Right, if you're platinum, right, go into the AI, see now you're Protoss, right? Because I'm always gonna give Protoss examples because I'm a Protoss. Alright, like AI, you want to kind of play against the Terran because it's the better of the AIs. And never play against Insane because it cheats. But see now you want to forget the Terran and like time yourself. See how fast you can beat the Terran, right? If you're gold, oh sorry, if you're diamond, for example, okay, don't really have to forget him because you can smash him anyway. But see how fast you can beat the Terran AI with pure stalkers, right? And that's it. I'm not platinum. I'm terrible. Okay, what league are you in? If you give me an example, but like if you see gold, right, go in and forget the Terran as many times as you can, realistically, and then look at the timings. If you beat them the first time like 9 minutes, and then the second time you do it in 8 minutes, and then you do it in 7 minutes, like it's becoming more. Your builds are becoming more crisp, and your gameplay is just more known and stuff like that, and you'll slightly progress. Like this is more for if you straight. Okay, you're not even in a league. Okay, that could be why. Definitely so. Yeah, as I was going to say, if you get straight into the game, okay, So as Force, you seem like a pretty good example. As soon as you get the game, like, do not play against a person. Do not play the practice leagues, etc., etc. Just play against the AI. You don't really want to play against a person because, like I said, they're not. If they're new to the game like you, they're not going to know how to play, whereas the AI kind of does. And if you're new to the game, you're going to lose to the AI. That's undoubtedly true. I lost to the AI. It's just what happens. And you can look at it this way. Like, if the AI attacks you at 7 minutes and you die straight up instantly, and then you do it again, and you play against the AI, and this time you die at 8 minutes. Like, you notice, like, there's a slight bit of progression. If it does the exact same build, which most of the time the AI does, you just, you can see the progression. If you live till 9 minutes, if you carry on, and then, like, if you die to the first attack and you kill 5 units, and then the second time it attacks, you kill 10 units, you can count your progression. You can see, like, that's what's getting better. It's undoubtedly easy to see. Okay, so this guy's saying basically just played against all the missions a few times and played against medium AI. Okay, all right. So you've started, right? So, like, once you beat your AI medium, move on to hard, and then move on to the very hard. Do not, of course, play the insane because it cheats, but you can see the progression. If you beat the medium after you lose to it, like, that's progression. Then you can move on to the hard. If you beat that, you progress and you're progressing. Okay, and yeah, that's exactly what you want to do. Just learn one build to beat the AI, and like I said, it kind of breaks you into the game. And look at it this way, right? Imagine you get Starcraft 2, you hit ladder, and you find a game, right? And it's your first game ever. You're playing against someone who's in bronze or whatever, and you play for about 50 minutes because each of you don't know really how to play the game. Instead of doing that, if you went in and played against the AI and played 5 10-minute games and lost them all, can you imagine, like, can you see the progression from those 5 games would be a lot more important? Like, those 10 minutes, 5 times, would really improve your play a lot more than one 50-minute game. And it's really important, I feel, because, like, there's no point going over a very, very long game where you have absolutely no clue what you're doing compared to what I just said. Like, the first 10 minutes is much, much more important to get better on. But this let's move that on for a later topic because I was gonna talk about something, and then of course I got distracted by the chat as I always do. So yeah, what's gonna happen is with the show, just so you know, and I have to tell you guys a question now because it's quite exciting. Every month we will be giving away a lot of prizes. It's going to be mainly stuff from BenQ. It's going to be lions. I don't know exactly what it is, but the BenQ lion, I'm guessing, is a teddy, and I actually want one. We'll be giving away hats, lanyards, bags, and we'll be doing that every month. And how it's going to work is it's going to be like a quiz format. Every episode I'm going to give a couple of questions, or just the answer to a question, and it's going to add up over the month, and then at the end of the month there's going to be like a sort of quiz, and obviously whoever has the right questions will obviously win the prizes, and that is actually pretty exciting. And then every 3 months, BenQ have happily supplied us with one monitor. It's the RTS RL monitor, 24 inch. It's actually really impressive monitor. It's built specifically for RTS, so of course it's going to work really well with StarCraft. And we'll be giving one of those away every single month. And how we'll be doing that is within like a tournament format. It'll be open for all leagues. Obviously, we can't deny the high leagues or the low leagues, so unfortunately, that's kind of how it's going to go. But that is going to be really exciting. It'll be, of course, casted by myself, and like that is going to be a lot of fun. And then every year, like, because like I said, we hopefully will keep the show going for a very long time. I'm not going anywhere. I love StarCraft. Actually, I don't stop thinking about StarCraft. So this is staying around for a while. And every year we're actually going to give away a 2420T monitor from BenQ, which is that's the spawn and heating one that they each helped to make. And that's the one I'm actually using right now. That's what's in front of me, and it is fantastic, I gotta say. And we haven't talked about exactly how that's going to work, but it's probably going to be a bit of mix of everything. Obviously, a year achievement is quite a big thing, so we kind of want to do something special with how we give the prize away. So that is going to be amazing. And yes, we'll be also giving away some coaching sessions as well, which you might as well. Everyone loves coaching. It's got to be done. And also within more towards the end of this show, or in this season, we will be also hopefully having some professional players signed up, or appearing on the show. It's not confirmed yet, but we hopefully have names like ESC Daisy and Grubby who will be appearing. Now, like they're very involved in the scene. Daisy likes to chat with his viewers. He is living in Germany at the moment, even though he is Korean. So he likes to kind of mix it in with us Europeans. And Grubby, of course, is Grubby. He's just... I know people call Chef the man bear, but in my opinion, Grubby is like the most awesome, friendliest person I've met in from the Starcraft 2 scene. So it's going to be really epic, and I have to I have to do it now so people can try and find the answers, all that good stuff. And alright, so for this episode, I'm giving away a headset. I can't remember exactly what headset, but I will have the headset information at the end of it. Alright, I need to know, the question is, what is the fastest unit in the game, and what is it? So, how fast is it, and then what unit is that? I can see people in the chat who they should know. I can see you should know this. But yeah, it's a pretty simple question. Don't Google it. And towards the end of the show, you guys can tweet it to me. Type in the chat. Actually, it's probably better to officially tweet it to d-esports, so we have official record of who said it first. But yeah, what is the fastest unit in StarCraft, and how fast is it? And if you want some extra brownie points, you can you can see how it gets that speed. Um, Someone in the chat saying, "How am I going to know that?" That's something you just kind of get from playing this game for years. And I know a lot of people will not actually know it. There should be two units that come to people's mind, and it's one of them really. But it's quite hard to get this one because it's like XXX plus X, so it's quite exciting. And that is also my go-to question of StarCraft, because no one knows this. Alright, so I've pretty much covered, I believe, the basics of what to expect. I've covered who I am and all that good stuff. I'm just going to give you an example of what to kind of expect from the next few episodes, and this is like a hands-on kind of thingy. And this also plays into what you want to be doing if you're, I've seen if you're AI, if you're bronze to gold, you want to be kind of playing against the AI. If you're not, if you're say platinum, diamond, masters, all that good stuff, you kind of want to go into the unit tester. That's what I would say, right? So as we change scene, we're gonna go in. And now, thanks to of course Blizzard's update, this map is kind of hard to find. But right, you have to go into arcade. You type in unit. This should get it. There we have unit space for some reason, and no, it's not here. I hate it when it does it. I had it earlier. Alright, it's pretty much the unit tester. Let's see if I test to find it. Build BO tester, no. I do have it in my favorites, so I can get it if I need. Unit. Unit tester for one player. I don't think it's that one. Alright, let's go into bookmarks. Alright, it's unit test map. Right, this is my favorite one. And pretty much, guys, this is just for testing units, right? You can spawn any unit against any unit. There's a 2-player variant, there's a 3-player variant of maps like this, and it's more for working on your unit control as opposed to like playing against the AI is kind of more mechanics training, like you're building stuff and all this. This is strictly for like unit control. Realistically, like there's not much else you can do with it. So this is something I come into quite a lot, and hopefully I'm on the right speed setting. Yeah, I am. Right, so this is something I do quite often. Build something like 5 stalkers, and I don't care how many marines, just a lot of marines. Right, and as you can imagine, there's a lot of different levels, right? So we're new to StarCraft. We want to start practicing StarCraft, and this is kind of what happens. You just like a move. It's just like fight, fight. Yeah. But then you realize like realistically, like the Marines would win that, whereas they shouldn't really. because if you micro your stalkers, like a big difference, there's a lot of difference that happens. So that is kind of what happens as soon as you get the game. As you get better, you learn to micro better as well. So see, let's have another situation. This aim, oh, wrong button. This aim moves these armies together and then micro them, right? So we can imagine like this is micro in a bit, and this is what happens as you just get better. You learn to do it, and then as you get better again, you realize that there's better ways to micro again. So another way of microing is target firing, which you just, target fire the Marines. And this, once again, is just, everything's a little bit harder in scale. Oh, misclick. And, yeah, I messed up a little bit there and I took damage earlier, but that's just an example, because the way StarCraft is, from what, like, this is the way I kind of explain StarCraft. It's kind of like a ladder, StarCraft is. Like, there's no, like, pun because there's a ladder in StarCraft. Let me just change the scene. Um, Within StarCraft, it's kind of like a ladder because you have to hit X point to improve upon it, yeah? And, like, obviously, it's kind of like steps on a ladder. And within StarCraft 2, it's kind of like a trial and error type of thing, whereas, you know, when I was just in the game then, actually, it's probably better if I stay in the scene, like, as I was in this game then, like, the first step is just A moving, right? So A moving units into each other. So A move and A move. So they fight. And then just doing nothing, like leave your hands whatever. That's the first step. Then the second step would be, pulling away so you don't take damage. And then, like I was on about earlier, so this is, so pull away and then move like that. Yeah, and that would be like the next step. And then the third step is what I was doing just then, pull one away and then pull them all away. And like I was saying, you have to hit one step to improve upon the level, and this applies to kind of everything. It's like a good example is Protoss v Terran, and like early game, there's like the Protoss kind of has the early dominance when there's just Marines out, because Stalkers are faster than Marines. But once Marines are out, once Marauders are out, or with Concussive Shell, the early game advantage goes to the Terran, because they can stop or slow down the Protoss units from escaping, and like it just, it goes into the Terran's favor, and it's kind of like it adds on to itself. So, Terrans take that advantage, and then Protoss, they get warp gates, and then they have an advantage because there's, they can just warp in, and then Terran has the advantage because they have stim, and then Protoss have the advantage because there's, charge, and then there's medevacs, and then there's blink, and then it just kind of keeps going above itself, and it's like steps upon steps, and I feel like that's really kind of the way StarCraft evolves in terms of the way you learn. It's like you learn one step, and then you learn the next step and improve upon it to hit that level, and it's really important that people understand this, because some people might be like, they might want to learn how to target fire straight away. If you get the game, you don't jump straight into it and try and target fire Marines, because you're not going to have all the background mechanics. You're not going to understand the way the game works to be able to do it, and it's important that you take the steps correctly to progress along the right lines. And that is actually a really important thing, in my opinion, in the way people learn. Okay, so that was just a little bit of a taster of like things to come. Like next week's episode is it's kind of the Protoss all around, because I had to chop one off, mixed with the Terrans, and like that is something I'm going to be going over. Like that is something you want to be doing if you're plat to master's level, because you're going to know how to A-move from bronze to gold, and a bit of micro you can do that, and then that's to the next step. It constantly evolves. Don't talk to me. And it's just super important that people understand how progression works within this game. So yeah, that was a quick little example, and okay, yeah, so I'm making good progress. Has anyone come up with the answer to that question? I want to know. I'm not telling you how fast the unit is. That's cheating, guys. Has anyone tried to get it? How fast is it? The queen is clearly the fastest. Yeah, the uh, the queen is. Beer back loading up SC2. Someone's going to try and message me again now, aren't they? Alright, so let's just change the scenes. I don't also have one of those auto changes because I don't trust them. I've seen them die all the time and people just don't know. So I like to change scenes myself. Okay, so that was a good chunk of what we needed to cover. I do have a little bit of a task actually for the people who are, watching this. There's obviously two different tasks because obviously, there are different people, different level of skill in people who are watching this. So I can't really be like, hey, go beat a very easy AI to like a Masters player, whereas to a person who's just got the game, that's understandable. So if you're bronze to gold, I want you to go in and beat the very hard AI Terran. I always say AI Terran because they one base the best, really, because the Zerg will one base as well, and Zerg's one base is horrible. So you have to play against the Terran, and this is also going to be awarded with an hour's coaching. Whoever beats the AI Terran with their race in the fastest time will get an hour's coaching, alright? So that is the goal for bronze to gold, and you guys get the coaching. If you're platinum to masters, you're not getting coaching, you're not getting a prize, you're just getting set homework. Your goal is just go into the unit tester, which I just showed you, or there are a couple of various other ones which, in my opinion, are not so good. But just go in and practice your unit control. Right? Like I was doing there. Like what I was doing then with the Marines and the Stalkers is something I've been doing since near enough release. And back then, like you didn't even have the unit testers. I had to go into like steps of war and just hope that the Terran made okay units and just micro against them. Or I'd get a friend to practice with me. I didn't have the utility of all the features that people have made for StarCraft already, and it's really impressive actually to think about it. So yeah, that is two pieces of homework, one for each kind of level, and yeah, no one's still got that the fastest unit in the game yet. People are gonna kick themselves because it's such an obvious unit. if oh, someone's got it. It's on Twitter. Ooh, I wanna know. I wanna know. You better have the speed. Ah, yes. It's actually I didn't know interceptors were 7.5. Is that true? I guess that for some reason they don't. The, the this question was asked by Blizzard during the BlizzCon 2011 finals, so that's kind of how I know it was, and I assume that Blizzard are going to be correct, so that's how I know. Um, from what I was told, it's actually a Zerglin with speed on creep, and of the Zerglins are 2.95, and then with speed they hit 4.7, and then with creep they have a speed boost of 1.41, which of course takes them to 6.11. And I was told that was the fastest. And the second fastest actually is Zealot with charge on charge, as he's charging, and that's actually 6.1. So it's 0.01 faster, slower than Zerglin. So for those who do not know, if you're chasing a Zerglin with charge, you're not going to catch it if it is on creep. Like, I don't know if many people know that, but I thought that was awesome. Okay, so there we are. We've set the homework that we've kind of done yet. And like I said, covered most things. I didn't expect this to go so fast. Because this episode's a lot of talking, I've kind of, I've tried to add in stuff to make it longer, but at the same time, you can only talk for so long. So, yeah, we done the unit tester then, which was a lot of fun. I love doing that. And now I've given you the guys the homework. Yeah, so a bit more information, yeah. Like I was saying about the AI, like it's so important in my opinion to play against the AI because it just breaks you into the game so well. And like I was saying before, originally I got when I got into Starcraft 2, I think I played like 60 games like within 2 days against the AI until I could beat very hard. I think I tried to play against the Insane But obviously that didn't work out because it cheats. For those who don't know, the insane mine's 40% more economy or minerals, gas, whatever, more than you. So it gets substantially harder to beat them as the game gets on. So that's why everyone says like you just cheese them. And like there's a number of reasons for playing the AI. Like it's always there. You don't have to bother someone to try and message it. Like it's just create a game. It's very consistent. It will kind of always hit you with the same kind of units that are run at the same time, and that allows you to see the progression. Because if you're if you kill 5 units the first time and then you kill 6 units and then you kill 7 units, obviously like it's not much, but it is a start. It's a sign of progression. Like you're improving. And originally, when I done this, I just straight up played the AI. As soon as I could beat it, then I landed. I got straight into gold, like instant. And this was beaten. Things were a little bit crazier back then, I must say. And yeah, I got straight into gold. I did ended up getting promoted to silver like a couple of days later, but it was beta, so it's okay. And then release came out, and actually I didn't play any games. I played placement straight away. It was like a week later. I was like, oh, how bad can I be? I got cheesed to hell, and then I ended up in what was it? It was straight into bronze, and then from bronze, like later that day, I got promoted into silver. Later that day, sorry, no, the next day I got into gold, and then like the day after I got into platinum, and then 2 weeks later I was diamond, and I've been in diamond since. Well, I was in diamond at the beginning, and then I've been in masters since it opened up. So I've been around the higher levels or in the highest leagues pretty much from the beginning, in my opinion. You know, and you can look at people now, like there's still people who have been playing since the start that have only just gone to diamond or still in platinum, and if they most of the time they just jump into the practice games and then they jump into the ladder and then they have no foundation in which to build the game upon, so the progression is like, you can imagine, like, here's a metaphor. If you build a building on like really crappy foundation, like it's on mud and stuff, it's not going to have a solid standard point. Eventually it's going to tip, and like it's going to be game breaking for you. Someone's going to tell you something, and it's going to like, holy crap, why didn't I ever realize that? It's completely changed the entire game for me. um, and that will happen, and the sooner you get better foundations, the more you improve. I, I don't know if you can hear my dog barking downstairs. And yeah, and here's another solid reason why the AI, in my opinion, is more important. Like, if you can't beat the very hard AI, what's the point in playing someone? Like people will try to argue, but in my opinion, like, I know I might just be a bit of a sore. Like, I don't understand. Like, if you can play against the computer, which is better than someone you can play against, why wouldn't you play against the AI? Why? Like, just doesn't make sense. Why would you not do that? So you have to beat the AI before you play people. Like, it's just, in my opinion, it's such an easy, logical thing to do. Alright, and I did find out the headset that we will be giving away during this week's episode is the Freck 5. It is from Triton. It is going to be a very good headset because, of course, Triton make pretty damn quality stuff. So it's the Freck 5, and the winner of that goes to the first person to answer the question of what is the fastest unit in the game and what unit is it. Sorry, it's speed. Of course, the winner should have already been chosen out because that some people have already tweeted it. So, alright. Okay. Let's check. I have a list of everything I want to double check. So we've gone over the challenges. Now we're going to actually cover a lot of the utilities to get better at StarCraft, right? This is like the scene, the community, resources, all that kind of good stuff. So we're actually going to jump into the... Is it this one? Yeah. Okay, we're going to jump into this. And this is obviously screen region, so I'm going to show you a lot of the utilities that you can use to get better at StarCraft. Right? So obviously, Team Liquid. Who doesn't know Team Liquid, right? Um, I hope everybody does. Right? So of course you go to Team Liquid. There's a bunch of different things. Mainly the things you want to stick to if you want to progress as a player are the strategy sections, the tournament sections. Custom maps can kind of help because obviously there's the macro mechanics and stuff like that. Custom maps that will improve those, which are really important. It's nice to stay up to date with strategies. Like strategies, I guess, do apply more to the higher ranked players, but it's build orders. It's what you want to be doing in PvZ, PvX, all that good stuff. It's very important that you understand this. And then, of course, the you know the really good stuff is, of course, Liquipedia. Everyone goes to Liquipedia who knows Starcraft and Team Liquid. It's pretty much Wikipedia, but for Starcraft, right? And we call it Liquipedia. So as you can see here, there's units, buildings, campaigns, tool, miscellaneous, players. It gives you all the information about professionals, pilot. Then you can go into strategy overview, look at strategies. I know a lot of you already know this, so I do have to bore you, but it is important for those who are new to Starcraft. Then, of course, here's a little example for you guys. Here's the product section. So we have, recent VODs, contributors, helps, featured builds, blah, blah, blah. And then if we go down, we have builds listed, separately and by matchup. So you can kind of figure them out. And here's an example of something I've done in the past. So if we click the 2-gate pressure expansion, if we go down here, it has references, a tutorial explaining a variation of this opening, because there's a lot of variations. If we go into this, it's a tutorial made by myself. So I may be Pee-wee on YouTube. You can go check it out. That's why I have all these up here. This is a tutorial that I have made. I made this back in January. I put it onto Liquipedia so people can look at it, and it's quite an old build now. Of course, everything changes, but people can look at this and hopefully improve. And I've taught this build to a lot of people, and it was, for a time, this was really good, a really, really solid build, and I had a lot of luck with it on ladder, I must say. And even Dignitas Stress, we actually argued about this build quite a lot back in the day. So yeah, that's just one other example of how to find information in StarCraft. And right by here, okay, this is a replay, for example. As you can see here, I could open this up, and I could go into a game and watch this build unfold by these two players. I don't really know who they are, but that's just another great example of what you can do with StarCraft. So as we jump back into, oh, wrong one. We need to go in-game. So I'll just open a replay. Okay. So of course, StarCraft itself has its own utilities to help you get better at the game, and these ones, it's F12, right? So for StarCraft, it's F12 in-game, alright? It's this one up here, help. I can't click that because I have them off. It's F12, right? It's really important, because I done replay analysis to some guy, and he opened, what was it? It was Zealot. It was Zealot Voidray against a Zerg who went Roach Hydra, and the guy's sent me this replay, and he's like, oh yeah, I don't know what I done wrong. And it's well, you obviously don't know what the units do, because Zealots and Voidrays get hard counted by Roaches and Hydras. And it's why would you ask for advice when you can come in here and you can click on the unit and it tells you what it's good against, you should know all these things. A Zealot, it has shields 50, a life 100, it has 1 armor, these are all its weapons, damage, blah blah blah. It's strong against these, it's weak against blah blah. And if you click on these units down here, it'll take you to them, it'll give you information, the upgrades, all the information you could ever really, the most important information of what's good against what. Not everything really applies. Sometimes there's little things which are oh, that's not really true. But this is solid. It'll give you a good foundation for the game, and you're not really going to make any major mistakes. You're not going to go, Vikings against Stalkers or something if you're tearing against a Protoss. It's just, it's just a good way to learn the basics of the units. And then we also have the tech trees, which once again are really important, the order of which you get your buildings. So, as a Protoss, you can only build a pylon, an assimilator, and a nexus. Once you build a nexus, you can have a gateway or a forge. Once you build the gateway, you can get the cyber core. Once you have the cyber core, you can build these, and so on. Once you build that, you get that, and it just applies to all the races in how it works. And every single race has its own different type of mechanic of how you build stuff in terms of tech. So it's important to know how they all work as well. Because as we can see here, the Zerg, everything comes from a lava, and you just need to build into allow that tech. So, you get a spawning pool, you can build Zerglings, like Zerglin and the Queen, but they come from the hatchery. They still come from the hatchery. Same applies to the Ultralisk cabin. It unlocks an Ultralisk, but an Ultralisk comes from a lava. So it's very important that you understand all this. Okay, what other ones have we got? So we have, those are the, in my opinion, those are the biggest ones, the ones that everyone should kind of know. And then, of course, I've seen, there's a lot more community-driven stuff. Like, if we go to Reddit, let's see, where are you, Reddit? And I'll change my scene once again, because there's so many different websites and stuff that you can go to. So we have Reddit. If we go to Starcraft Reddit, realistically, Starcraft, the main one, is not for really improving your play. It's more for Starcraft related news, gossip, information, headlines, tournament results, blah blah blah. But as we can see on the right hand side, which is really important, we can, new to StarCraft, like there's guides, there's so much stuff on StarCraft and our Reddit, and like, okay, it's slow, but here we are. All right, so we have Team Liquid streamer list here. Welcome to our StarCraft. First and foremost, the rules, helpful information, so really important stuff. Then upcoming events. Then there's spoiler freeze. There's bunch of other subreddits as well. As we go down, we have all things Protoss, all things Terran, all things Zerg, Barcraft, D9 esports, SE2 partners, so you can pick up partners to practice with. Then there's Starcraft strategy. Like every week, Starcraft strategy meets up on a Saturday and has a training session where they all go over different stuff. Starcraft 2 class is more about discussions. But if we go into all things Protoss, for example, there's something on here earlier, I can't remember what. I think it's just like, what was it I was looking at? I know I posted in here the other week. If anyone wants any replay analysis, I'll record myself doing it. Just post them here. Why not? Like, these are all things you must do. And then we also have GMs as well that post here. So it's not just, a lot of people think community-driven tutorials and stuff like that is normally by bad players. Most of the time it's actually by the very high-end players. And we have, as we see, a d-Apollo tutorial link, which are a great resource in themselves. For those who don't know, d-Apollo done 4 hours worth of videos on each race where he buys a new account and just levels it up as far as he can within 4 hours. And all things Protoss has that link right there. Then we have, see here, we did have one. It's like a list of all the players by ranks. It's really thin, but here's one right now. Look, this guy just got promoted to Grandmaster 2 days ago, and he's thanking ATP is all things Protoss, and he's like, hey, thanks guys, I got promoted to Protoss, and it's like, well done, mate. He just gives us all discussions. And he posted here, it says, hey, well done guys, and then we start another discussion from it. It's really good in my opinion. It's a great way to make friends, create a scene. There's also, oh actually that's it. Where was it? They posted the raid call, here we are. So for those people, that company that just sponsored EG is called Raid Call. It's like TeamSpeak, Skype, all those. It's for gaming. Like as we can see here, as I'm highlighting right here, all things Protoss Raid Call channel. So you can dial that up if you're Protoss, and you'll just go into it like, I'm pretty sure it's just like a voice call with all the Protoss players, and you can chill. There'll be customs going. There'll be 1v1s, King of the Hills. We also have challenges as well. We'll set like tournaments. Like we'll have what is it? I can think it's an all-kill format team league against the other ones. So all thin Zig and us will have like a team match of like a best of 9, and we'll play each other. Like we won the first one, and I think there's a second one being organised at the moment. So that's really exciting stuff as well. And then of course if we go back in game. This one I want, yeah. If we go back in game, we have the chat channels, which are another great way, because something that for me really makes StarCraft what it is. If it went for these things, I don't like I would still love Starcraft, but I wouldn't be involved as I am or as involved. And it's pretty much the scene, yeah, the people that you actually deal with, the people you talk to, the friends that you make. These all make a massive, huge difference. And the main one for me is obviously the UK scene. I am British, so the UK scene is something that I hang out with a lot. I meet them all at the events. I cast some of the tournaments that we have, and I bloody well love these guys. Like some people who were talking in the chat. There's Shibbies, he's right there. He's high level. We have Orc, who is a GM. He's the only one on the moment. Blin isn't on, but we have Lau. We have just high level players. They all chill. We all talk. We have once again King of the Hill. Pretty much we just like 5-10 of us join and we all play each other. We have micro tournaments, and then when you go to the events within the UK, these are the actual people that you meet. And that is, like nothing beats that in my opinion. Like I love StarCraft, but nothing beats the relationships of the people I've befriend, and it's awesome, man. Like that really makes it like. Of course, as most people know, next week is iSeries, which is the biggest UK LAN within the United Kingdom, and it's epic. Alright, it's gonna be like 3,000 people. 2,000 people have already signed up for next week. So it's gonna be like 3,000 people in 2 hallways. It's gonna be a bunch of games, but there's gonna be like 100, 200 StarCraft players in just like a section playing each other in a tournament, and it's WCG as well. And I'm gonna go there, and I'm gonna be seeing all these people that you just seen in the list. I'm gonna be going up, chatting to them. God, I'll be giving them hugs. I haven't seen you since the last event, bro. How's it going? I haven't seen you since last year. And that's just how it goes. And even then, like, going to events is how you meet people as well. And it's just, like, if it went for I-44, I wouldn't have met, of course, James Bank from Definitive Esports, as everyone knows him. And, I wouldn't be part of Definitive Esports doing the show with you guys right now. So it's epic. Like, things like that really make it worthwhile. Oh, wait, there. As fourth is going, you're going to iSeries I-46 next week, bro. If you don't have a seat taken at iSeries, like you can always sit next to me. Like I think there's a free one, and like I try to get everyone in the same section, and we all chill out. And like I'll be there wearing my Definitive Esports hoodie, so you can like if you see me, come talk to me, bro. I'm in the StarCraft section. I'm not like I'm a pro. I'm like I'm in my own little section. I'm gonna be with the SC2 players. Yeah, man, Telford. I'll be going up next Thursday. That's where the event is hosted. It is near Birmingham, and it is sick. So I can't wait. Me want that shirt. You're not having this shirt, and this is a hoodie anyway. So I do have a t-shirt. We will actually be giving away BenQ shirts. So you can definitely have one of them. As like I was saying earlier, we'll be doing competitions where I ask questions every show, and the winners of those questions get prizes. And it's just going to be like the one I asked earlier, which was what's the fastest unit in the game and how fast is it? I have a lot of questions. Little like you shouldn't really know them unless you've been told. It's just like various things that I've learned from this game. It's like here's one for example. It takes 22 Banelings to kill a fully upgraded Archon. Or it takes uh, a Zealot being attacked by one Zerglin in a choke will kill 6 Zerglins before dying. Yes, and as someone pointed in the chat, this is the first episode, guys. That like sadly, this is just mainly more talking. It's not going to be super hype in the game, looking at professional replays. That's for next week and the remaining weeks after that. This is a new show, guys. Please tweet, post, tell your friends. I know that's a little bit selfless of you because the less people who know, the higher chance of winning a prize. But we gotta promote this, guys. We gotta spread the love of esports. And yeah, we will be having pros. It's not confirmed just yet, but we hopefully have some big names like Grubby, who is a legend in himself. So that would be amazing. He's the only person from IEM which is a tournament going on right now, to make it into group play out of the foreigners. So great player there, great player. So that is actually, I believe, gonna be it now. I'm just gonna go through all my notes, make sure I've got everything. And oh yeah, actually, sorry, that was some more other ways of getting into StarCraft and learning. If people are really dedicated, there are professional coaches who you can pay to coach you, and if you really want to excel, or if you're say are on mid level and you really want to put the extra effort to hit the higher leagues, that is something that you may want to consider. Like there's a lot of different ones who charge less or more, and obviously there's obvious reasons. A world champion is going to cost a lot more than say myself, and pretty much that is like dedicated game coaching to yourself. It's all about you. It's specialized to your individual needs and all that stuff, and that can really be a good way to progress as a player. And you can go to sites like Six Pool Gaming for stuff like that. And the last and other way you can improve or you put more in effort into the game is play tournaments. Like there's play M tournaments nearly every day. Pretty much every day. There's normally two a day as well, and they do tournaments which are like gold level, gold and plat, and you get for like $5 for winning, which of course isn't really that much, but you get to play around people your level, and which is really nice, and be in a tournament situation, which is really satisfying if you win, and like you can get money out of it. And I know I have platinum friends who have won these tournaments because of course a platinum has to win it unless it's Smith, which hopefully doesn't happen very often. Um, but yeah, like it's so epic, and yeah, I believe that is pretty much it now. The winner will be tweeted about that gaming headset, and like I said, it is the Freck 5, which I believe that's one of the higher quality ones. That's like, well, they're all high quality, but I mean like, there's like the flagship or the basic entry. I think that's near the flagship, but it's not the flagship model. That's the 720. But it's really like Triton in their defense actually make really good quality stuff. So I like whoever wins that will be more than satisfied. I can guarantee it. And yeah, so that is the end of Chobo2Gosu episode number 1, guys. Of course, I want to give a huge shout out to BenQ and giving us the inspiration and the backing to do this on such a large scale. Because of course, even though this is the first episode, we will be hitting a bigger crowd. We should hopefully be drawing more in as we get bigger. We give away prizes. We have the professionals signed on, and we have tournaments and stuff like that. And it's going to be really epic. So a massive, huge shout out to BenQ for that. And then of course I want to give a shout out to Definitive Esports, which is the organization I'm part of, and like they're awesome. Like there are other sponsors that support us. We do have Antec, Mad Cats, X and G Notebooks, which are fantastic brands, and I really want to give a shout out to all of them. D-esports, and of course James Bank, the owner, founder, CEO, was it operations chief or something? Chief of operations, that's the one. He's a boss. And like I said, I met him at an iSeries event, so go to events. He's a legend. And that is it, guys. Thank you for all tuning in. I am Pee-wee here for Definitive Esports, and well, I believe next week's episode is actually going to be postponed because I'm at an event next week, so sadly I will not be able to do it at the event because there's just so much noise. Everyone will be coming in on the Thursday. Yeah, as people in the chat are saying, James Bank here from Definitive Esports, as everyone knows him and tweets him. So there we are, guys. Thank you all for watching. I will